Okay, so for our first workshop Zoom, I just wanted to do these because I know there's some things that kind of get pushed under the rug about the business, but they're super important things. And so we want to make sure that we're giving you guys all the important information that you need, whether those are like little things in the business or big things in the business, they're all important, and actually like attention to detail and those little things are like the more important things in the business, and especially as you're growing your business, you want to make sure to do those. So yeah, I just wanted to do these little workshops to help you guys with those little things and just those little topics individually, rather than those Zooms that kind of cover a little bit of each one of those things, but don't really focus on each one. And so for our first one, I wanted to help you guys learn how to perfect how to write your story to attract potential distributors. And so that's what our one is going to be about today. And I'm going to have some step-by-steps and kind of not really homework, but just little things for you guys to do so that you guys can physically write your own story and have one written out and ready to go by the end of this Zoom. And so welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm so excited to start these. So if those of you that don't know me, sorry, I had to mute someone. For those of you that don't know me, if you're not specifically on my team, my name is Courtney. I joined when I was 19 years old. After my freshman year of college, I was literally I wasn't really broke. Like I had money in savings, but it was for school. And I was running out of that savings paying for school. And I knew that at the end of that semester, I didn't know how to pay for the next semester. And so even with my full-time summer job that I had and my part-time college job that I had during the school year, it literally wasn't enough. Like I would sit at my desk job in college. I had a little desk job in between classes, and I would sit there and have a calculator out, and I would pull up my online banking, and I would say, okay, this is how much I'm going to get paid from this job. This is how much I might get from like babysitting or other things like that. And this is how much I have to pay for sorority, rent, college, things like that. And I was trying to figure out, like, is there any possible way that this is going to work? Because I don't know what else I'm going to do. And so I would sit there calculating and checking my bank account like 5 times a day. And that was just super stressful for me because as a college student, I was already stressed about having to pay for school. And then I joined a sorority, so that was even more expensive. And then and I thought I had it covered because I had so much in savings, but college is so expensive that it was like draining my bank account faster than I can fill it up. And so I was following Kayla on Instagram for about 3 or 4 months and following her story. I never really paid attention to many of the product posts, but I always got attracted by her business posts. So I thought, you know what, if this girl can quit her job, stay at home with her little boy, and make over $10,000 a month, surely I can make an extra $100 to help me pay for those things that I needed to pay for. And so that was really my goal going into it. I contacted her just hoping that I could make my $99 back and make $100 a month, and I would be good. Like that's all I wanted. I didn't expect anything more. And then after working the business, I joined at the beginning of summer. So literally right after I got done with that semester, I was working my full-time college job, joined this business, and I was taking online classes too. And so I had a full schedule. But after those 3 months of summer, I made more in fast start bonuses, so our $100 bonuses. And I made more in fast start bonuses than I would have in a whole entire year at my college job. And so for me, like that was like, okay, I'm not going to be stressed out at school anymore. I'm going to quit my college job because I just made everything that I would have anyways. And I'm going to continue to work this business. So that's what I did. I just worked this business throughout school, from my phone, from my sorority house, wherever I was. And something that a lot of people don't know about me, since I am a double diamond now, is that I sat at executive for, I think, 8 months. I went executive like my second month in the business, and I sat at executive for like 8 months, then dropped down to distributor for 2 months during December and January. And then in February, when the $5,000 bonus came out in conference, I went emerald in February and got that $5,000 bonus. Then in March, I went diamond, and then in May, I went double diamond. And so that's just proof of like the boom season and everything that's about to happen. So I'm super pumped about that. That's why I want to start these, to help you guys jumpstart that boom season and get everything ready so that you guys can have that boom season too and work your business in the best and efficient way possible. And so that's just a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, I didn't want you to just be talking to someone who you had no clue what my story was or anything like that. That kind of helps with the whole how to tell our story things too. Okay, Rose, I was reading your comment, but I'm guessing you can see now. Okay, cool. So just a few tips to get started about writing your story before we kind of dive into actually how to write it is just something that I always did in the beginning was follow leaders, because you can copy something about what do we say, like copy the right cat. And so as long as you're following those leaders and you're reading those posts, that's going to be engraved in your mind. And when you're writing a post, you're going to remember those little things and you're going to have those ideas in your head because you read it from them. And so as long as you're following and copying the right cat, you're going to be on the right path anyways. And so make sure you're following leaders. Just make sure don't like copy and paste their story and change it to your name, because that's not really you. Even if you're a college student too and you're in the exact same position I am, like don't copy and paste our story because it's still not you. Like there's those little details that you need to make sure that you're explaining your situation, your life, how you feel, how this business has affected you, because people are gonna buy you before they're gonna buy the business. And so if they can really feel you and feel connected to you personally, that's what's really important. And if they join and then they're like, wait, but you said in that one post this, and that's not really true, then they're gonna think that you're fake, and that's not cool. So make sure to just get inspiration from other people, but don't like 100% copy it. So that's kind of something that I recommend, some good leaders to follow if you guys have like no idea about where to start with that, or just like some of our top leaders on our teams, and then some other teams. So like Kayla Gilbert, Erin Tweed, Cassie Narrow, Hannah Griffin, Jenna Easterday, Bree Duncan, Morgan Martin, and Kelsey Thornton. And I can post those in the comments if you guys need me to, but those are just some good starters that I thought of off the top of my head that I personally follow and that I love their posts. And so that's kind of a good place to start. Make sure you're following those people on Instagram, click follow on Facebook. So that you guys can get ideas and kind of follow their lead with that. And then another tip is always post your story with a picture of you, because if they're reading your story and it's just some random picture of like, I don't even know, like your living room or something, I don't even know, or even like cute pictures of like your coffee or things like that. If you're posting it telling like who you are, make sure to post it with a picture of you, because they're going to remember your face and they're going to feel more connected to you if they can physically see you while they're reading your story about you. And so they'll be more likely to feel connected with you and feel more comfortable with reaching out to you, or even with continuing to follow you and reading your posts and feeling more interested. So that's something that's super important as well. And also remember the details in it. So a lot of people, especially if you're new, you might think like, I have no story. Like I just joined. There's really nothing big. I didn't earn a $10,000 bonus. I didn't, quit my job. I didn't go on free vacations this year because of this business, things like that. But if you focus on the little details, that will give you so much more to explain to people. And those little details are actually what people are more likely to feel connected to. Because if you post, I just got a $10,000 bonus, other people are going to be like, okay, well, I could never do that. So maybe this business isn't good for me. But if you're posting about, I joined this business, a month ago, and now I'm able to pay for gas in my car. People are like, oh my gosh, like I could pay for gas in my car with this business too. And so then they might feel more connected to you too. So remember the details and just don't focus on just the big things, but also the little things. So just something to think about and keep in the back of your head as we go through the rest of this Zoom as well. And something else is like, we always say like, fake it till you make it. So if you are new, or even if you're not new, but you're not where you want to be in this business yet, fake it until you make it. But I like to say like, faith it until you make it, because you're having faith that you're going to get there. And so really what fake it until you make it means is just have confidence that you're going to get there, and have that confidence that in that faith that, okay, I'm going to get here. So like, even if it's not right now, or even if I haven't gotten there yet, I'm going to. And so that's what I mean by that, is like, focus on those little things, focus on where you're going to go next, shout out your goals, things like that. Because you will get there, and your followers want to know that you're going somewhere. And so as long as you're confident in yourself and you're confident in your business and your goals that are going to be achieved, that's what I mean by that, is just faith it until you make it, and you will get there. Just don't give up. Just follow all the tips that your leaders have for you. and you will get there. So just starting to do our step-by-step about how to build your story, how to write your story. If you guys have like a pen and paper handy, or if you're on your laptop and have like your phone notes or something like that, just so you can jot down. This isn't like homework or anything, but just to help you guys personally. That would be awesome. So I like to think of building or writing your story as 3 steps. So whenever I write my story, I think of 3 steps, and I make sure to incorporate all of them into that. So I always think of what was it like before, what is it like now, and what is it going to be? And so what I mean by that is kind of like, so with a story, you would think like, why did you join? Like, what made you join? So what was your life like before? What has the business done for you? What is your life like now that you have the business? And then where are you going with the business, and what are you wanting to do, and where will you be? And just to break that down, like, so step 1 is why you joined. So in this part of the story, I would explain why I joined. So, I was a broke college student, didn't know how I was going to pay for school. I was super stressed out, had a super busy schedule. Things like that, just explaining how your life was before. And so when I first started writing my stories, I would always jot down. So I'd take a piece of notebook paper and I would just write down like little, like not even sentences, just little bullet points. So stressed out, busy schedule, couldn't pay for school, like needed gas money, things like that. So just jot down little reasons why you joined. Like, what was your life like then that made you want to join this business? So basically like your struggles, the things that you wanted to change. So that's what that step is. And what were you looking for in the business? And so part of that is like, I was super stressed out from school. I needed an extra income. And I was looking for an extra $100 to $200 a month. So those are some of the things that I would have jot down. So I can give you guys a few seconds if you guys are doing that. Angela, I think I saw you just hop on. So right now we're just jotting down a few things about step 1, which is why you joined. So the first part of your story is going to be why I joined. So like for me, it would be like, I was a broke college student, needed an extra income. I was looking for an extra $100 to $200 a month, and things like that. I had a super busy schedule, stressed out, things like that. So if you just want to jot a few of those down, and then we'll kind of combine our story later on. But that is step 1. Thank you, Clarice, for putting that in the chat. Okay, and then for step 2, so what has the business done for you? What's your life like now? What has changed? So explain like things that have changed in your life, your accomplishments with the business, things like that. So some ideas are kind of like, especially like if you are new in the business, you might not have like earned a huge bonus. Like you might not have big things, but some little things are like, I always teach my newbies to write things like, like I just joined this business 2 weeks ago, and I've already talked to 5 people about starting on our weight loss products, or I've already helped 2 people start their weight loss challenge, or things like that. So you can focus on the little things too. Or you've helped someone join the business to earn an extra income with you. Or you've earned $100 a month, $500 a month, paid for gas or groceries in cash, paid off debt. You've earned your $100 weekly bonuses. You've made new friendships, traveled, things like that. So it can be a combination of little and big things. Or if you just started, literally whatever you have, and you can do a combination of whatever you want for that. So just jot down a few of those too, and what has changed in your life, and like what you're thankful for that the business has done for you. Okay, and for step 3, it's what you're going to do in the future. So this is kind of like, I like to think of it as like shouting out your goals. So this is where like this is, what you want and what you're going towards, but let your followers and your friends like on Facebook and Instagram, let them know, because they want to know that you're going somewhere in the business. You're here to stay, because if they're thinking about joining this business, maybe they've been in the business before and their upline quit and they had nobody. or maybe they're just worried about not having anybody and having any support in the business. And so they want to know that you're here to stay and you're not going to quit on them. You're not going anywhere. You're working towards your goals. And if they see that you're moving forward in the business, they're going to trust you and know, like, okay, she knows what she's doing. She can lead me. Like, I trust her to lead me in this business and help me do what she's doing. And so that's why I always like to add that part, not to brag, not to say like, oh, I'm about to earn this $10,000 bonus, like not to brag or anything like that, but so that they know, like, oh my gosh, she just said that. Like, is she actually going to do that? And then they might follow you and go back to your page and see if you actually earned it. And so some of those things could be like your rank goal and your bonus goal and paying off debt, traveling more, things like that. So just goals that you have, and you can kind of decide what you want to put on that too. Mine kind of changed depending on like the season that I am in the business. So I shouted out every single rank that I was going for. I shouted out the Emerald bonus when I got that. I shouted out when I was going Diamond. I shouted out when I was going Double to get my $10,000 bonus. So as like when you breathe life into your dreams and when you shout it out, not only does it help them realize that she's serious about this, but also helps keep you accountable. Because once I knew that once I put on Facebook that I was going to get that $5,000 or $10,000 bonus, I was like, okay, crap, I have to do this now, because otherwise all of these people that are following me are going to know if I don't do it, which is okay if you don't hit it. Like, you can hit it the next month and they're going to see that too. But it just helped keep me accountable, because I don't know, I like to prove people wrong. And so that just helps me a ton too, to keep myself accountable. So just jot down a few of those things that you want to do with the business as your step 3. So now you can just like connect them into a story, and that might seem like super complicated, but I always like to start mine like, hey y'all, I'm Courtney. Like, I don't know, I'm super basic like that. I always like to introduce myself, because some people, even though they can see my name up there, like if I'm like telling people that I'm introducing them, like, hey guys, I have a bunch of new friends on here, I wanted to let you know like who I am. I always like to just start it out with my name. I don't know why, just maybe they'll remember my name then. But just an example of one that I had when I was going for Diamond. I'll read it to you, one second. Okay. So this is a story that I wrote and posted when I was going Diamond, but so I said, I'm Courtney and I run my own business at 19 years old. I'm a full-time college student in a sorority, and I work this business full-time from my cell phone. So that's something super important too, to put in your introduction, like put who you are, what you do, what your life is like. So I said, like, full-time college student in a sorority, I work this business full-time from my cell phone. Last year, I was constantly stressing and worrying about how I was going to pay for college without getting student loans. I'm super adamant about being debt-free, but I had no idea how I was going to pay for college on top of housing, sorority dues, and fun day-to-day things. After only 3 months in this business, I was able to quit my college job and fully replace the income from my college job with this business. I was already making enough to cover costs like gas, food, fun trips, shopping, etc. each month. Plus, I paid for my college tuition in cash with my It Works bonuses. Then I caught a vision for this business. My passion began to run my business and take me further than I could have ever imagined. I've become a leader while working with my mentoring team while mentoring my team to do what I do, while I'm on my way to the top. But I'm not stopping here. I'm going for Diamond, and soon I'll be making enough to fully cover the rest of my undergrad years plus grad school. I've made some of the most amazing friends and sisters in Christ, grown as a person and leader, and I'm making an income from my phone while being able to focus on school and my college experience. People always tell me that they could never do what I'm doing and be successful with it. Well, I'm no one special. I'm just a 19-year-old girl with a soul that can dream and a motivated mindset to make those dreams come true. It doesn't just have to be me, it can be you too. And so I always like to pull at people's heartstrings. Like, I don't know, it works because people want to know, like, I always shout out the things that they're thinking anyway. So I say, like, I know you think you could never do what I do, but like, let me tell you why you can, because they're already thinking that. So it's like the elephant in the room that they think that they can't do what you're doing. So if they're reading that and you're acknowledging like, oh, so she knows that I think that I can't do this, but she's explaining to me why I can. I always like doing things like that, just like help them know that and help them feel more comfortable with me too. Oh, something else is I always like to add a call to action to the end of it. So I didn't do it on this one, But I've started doing it ever since then. Just adding like, I'm trying to think of a word, like message me or comment the word join for more info, or message me the word info for more info, or things like that, or the word opportunity. Because especially with business posts, if they're interested in the business, sometimes they don't know what to message you, because they, like most people, I don't know. I messaged Kayla and I told her my whole life story and why she should let me be in her business, and like begged her to let me join. But not everyone's going to be like that, because that's kind of weird. And so some people don't know what to say. Like they don't know if they should like ask you a question. They don't know if they should like tell you about their life, like things like that. And so if they can just send you the word join or send you the word opportunity, then you can start the conversation with them, and all they had to do was send you a word. And so it's easier for them, and then they're interested, rather than waiting for them to think about, oh, what do I say to her? Like, how do I ask her about this business? Like they get nervous about it. And so that kind of helps with that too. Do you guys have any questions for me? You guys can put them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask me. But you guys can start trying to like pull your story together and like type it out, connect those dots with those things that we listed before. You can break them up into paragraphs. I like doing that just so it's not as much for people to read. Or I mean, it's the same amount to read, but it doesn't look like just like a full one paragraph. It's kind of split up and easier for them. But I can give you guys a few minutes, and then if you have any questions, like I said, you can put them in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself. Angela. Okay, so Angela said, I feel like when I read out my story, it's super long and a lot of people don't take the time to read it all, so it doesn't get the message across. So is that just because you're putting like a lot of each of those points in from each section that we talked about? Because some things that I like to do, and so like I'm going to post my story like once every single day. And so obviously we post in different kinds of ways about our story, but things that you can do is just like, don't post about every single thing that you've done in this business or every single reason that you've joined in every single post. And so kind of split it up. So maybe just put like 2 reasons that you joined, and then put 2 things that you've done so far that you're really thankful for. And then, a little bit about what, that was weird. Something just popped up. and then like something about what you're going to do, you know, so kind of split it up. And then the next post, you can add a couple other reasons. And that might help with that rather than saying like, okay, like I joined for 10 reasons and then I've done 10 things, you know, to not make it so long. And you can also help that by like, instead of telling like 3 different reasons that you joined, like in full, you know, explanation, maybe just list them out. So I joined because I was super stressed about, you know, my busy schedule with school. I needed an extra income and I was looking for more friendships or something like that. So you can kind of just list them out if you want to kind of shorten it up a bit. And at what point do you suggest you tell your story? From the very beginning. Like even if you're a newbie, if you joined 2 days ago, I would tell you to tell your story. Because like I said, even if you just joined, you have a reason that you joined this business. You've had something that you've done so far. So whether that's like super vague, you could just say like, I just joined this business 2 days ago and I'm already able to work towards making an extra $100 a month, you know, so you're working towards it. You don't have to say that you've already, you know, earned $1 million. Like that's okay. But you can say that, you know what, I've already been able to work towards, you know, getting a weekly $100 bonus, or I've already been able to talk to 5 people about starting their health and wellness journey with me, or little things like that. And so just point out those little things. But I would absolutely do it from the start, because I think that's why a lot of people have difficulty signing distributors in the beginning, is because they don't start out with things like that. Like they wait until like 2 months in and then they start telling their story. Or if you start from the beginning, you're going to reap those benefits faster. So the faster you start telling your story, the faster people are going to be, or the more people are going to be watching you, and then they're going to be ready to join that much faster. Okay, are you guys all good with writing things down? Okay. So I also wanted to talk about other ways that you can tell your story and other ways that you can write your story and post about it. And so obviously this is one way. So just like straight up telling you like, here's why I joined, this is my story and whatnot. But some other ways that I like to tell my story, because like I said, I make a business post and tell my story every single day. And so whether that's how we just wrote it about like, I'm Courtney, this is why I joined, you know, this is who I am, this is what I'm going for. And that's one way. But another way that I like to do is what I call connecting to people's struggles and stressors. And so what I mean by that is people want to join this business usually because of a struggle that they have. So whether that's like they don't have any friends and they want friendships and they see that we have a bunch of friendships with our business partners, or whether that's they're stressed out about money and they need an extra income to pay for bills. We can help with that. Maybe they just want to lose weight and they want to earn the extra income to pay for the products to lose weight. Things like that. So I like to connect to those stressors. And basically I'm pointing out my own struggles that I had and what the business did to fix them. And so some examples for that, like I said, are like being in debt, having no gas money, no money for bills, rent, no time for kids or husband or wife, like can't take a family vacation, things like that. And so I like to explain like a struggle that I had and then turn it into the business took away that struggle for me and it's helped me breathe easier. And so like for me, mine was like, one post that I love posting about is gas money. And so I'll post a picture of me like pumping my gas or a picture of like my receipt from getting gas at the gas station or something like that. And I'll explain how like a year and a half ago, I would pull up to the gas station with like a lump in my throat. And I was super stressed out about, you know, filling up my tank or whether my card was going to like get declined or things like that. Or I would only put $5 to $10 in my gas tank at a time because I didn't want to spend the full like $25 to $30 at a time filling up my gas tank. And now I'm so glad I can like pull into the gas station whenever I want and not have to stress about it and fill up my gas tank and hear the little click. And so I like to be super like detailed with them. So I like to explain like how I was feeling before. So I had that lump in my throat you know, I was super stressed out when I pulled into the gas station, and now I get to pull into the gas station, not even think a thing about it. And I get to hear that click of my gas being filled up, and things like that, and not worrying about how much it costs or things. And so that's one of the ones that I love doing. I also do, like, whenever I get my weekly bonuses, I explain what I'm going to pay for with them. And so, like when I was getting my apartment, I had to pay like a holding fee and like an application fee or something like that. And so I got like 2 or 3 weekly bonuses, and I said, so glad that this is going to cover, you know, my apartment application in full. And so then they're thinking, okay, like, she just earned $300 in weekly bonuses. Like, that could pay for like half my rent, or that could pay for, you know, they're starting to think of what they could pay for with that money that I just earned, and they can earn that too. And so I like to do that too. Or like, if I earn $100 weekly bonus, I'll post like when I go shopping and say my shopping trip was fully covered. Because then they're like, oh, like, I want extra shopping money or things like that. And so they're just starting to think of, if they join this business, what they could do with that money and how that would make their life easier, and that would take away their stressor. And so, yes, you are pointing out your own struggles that you may currently have or you had before, but you're also like drawing people in by helping them know that this can take away those struggles for them too. So that's another way that I like to write my story as well. And if you guys have questions about that, or like want like tips on that too, I can help with that too. But that's really all I had. I just wanted to help with like the basics of, you know, writing your story, the 3 steps that I always focus on with writing my story, and making sure that I incorporate all of those, and then those extra other ways that I write my story too. But if you guys have any other questions before we hop off, are we good? Awesome. Well, this was super fun. I'm so excited. If you guys have any recommendations about like what times work for you, what days of the week, things like that, I'm super flexible. So whatever works with you guys, honestly, is fine with me. If you guys want to like comment in here, you can comment on one of our posts in the Wrap It Up page. And also, if you guys have an idea of what topic you want to hear about next, because I don't have a certain order, I'm just kind of doing them random. And so if you have one that you're like dying to hear about, you can recommend that to me, and I can do that one next. But this was super fun. I'm super glad you guys all hopped on with me. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome Sunday night. Bye, guys.